as we get started here. Of course, first thing is, as you see polls pop up, we appreciate you answering those as quickly as possible. If you have any questions during the event, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and type them in, hit send, and we'll get them asked and answered as soon as we possibly can. Thank you again for joining us here this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started because I want to get done on time. I know your time is valuable. So I'm going to run through a couple of things with you, tell you about a couple of things we do here at IAMS to help you grow your business, and then we'll get into the webinar information as well, if we can make this baby move, which, there we go. Okay. So again, I wanted to thank you all for joining us. We appreciate that very much. A couple of things we'll talk about. First, I want to mention the RPM program, Marketing Reimbursement Programs. These are two programs that we built that we work with us producers on a regular basis. So the RPM program is pretty simple. You refer somebody to us, they get appointed with us, they do business, we pay you a bonus. That money does not come out of their pocket, but it rather comes out of our marketing budget, and we pay it out to you as really a thank you for the kind words on our behalf to a fellow producer or colleague in the field. So if you've got somebody that you think might be suited to IAMS, might benefit from some of our training, might benefit from our webinars, might benefit from maybe one of our life and annuity academies, products, services, coaching, whatever we can do to help you grow your business that would help them grow their business, you think that would be someone that you could refer to us, we'd love to have that. We'll put them in the system as a referral from you. When they begin to do business, we'll pay you out a bonus for that. Additionally, we have a marketing reimbursement program. That marketing reimbursement program is pretty simple and straightforward. When you do business, no matter what business you do at times, you get money put in your marketing reimbursement account. When you spend money to grow your business, and we match that spend, and you can use it for just about anything you can think of in terms of what you do to grow your business, whether it's mailings, things you do specifically for clients, gift cards, seminar, computer equipment that you need, anything that you can think of that you spend money on to grow your business, marketing reimbursement is eligible for that. So take advantage of those two programs if you're not already. I want to speak specifically to the 15 or 18 of you out there that are just getting started with IAMS. So we have a new producer bonus that I think you'll find very beneficial, and I want to point you to a couple of things specifically. So when you do business with us, and let's say you write $500,000 premium, you want to claim seminar coaching. So we've got a couple of great options for you there. So today we're going to talk about 401k and IRA rollover seminars and how that can grow your business. If you want IAMS to get you into that, and take care of everything for you, including the cost of the coaching and cost of your first mailing, everything you need to go, then when you do business with us, you can claim that through the new producer bonus. You can also claim at lower levels as well. So at the $100,000 or $300,000 level, those levels equate dollar for dollar to annuity premium. It goes about, I think we give you about a 1.5 of credit for your single premium life, and about 10 times credit for your regular flow premium life. So not hard to get to these levels. We want to make it easy. We want to have a look and see how we can help you grow your business through a lot of our different programs, and the new producer bonus is a great way to do that. So if you're unfamiliar with that program, let me begin by apologizing. That shouldn't be the case. If you haven't heard about that from one of your sales directors, and then that's a mistake on our part. If you want more information or want to talk about, hey, what am I going to, what do I need to do to get to this level or whatever, give us a call and let us help you walk you through that. New producer bonus is a great way for us to help you grow your business. Great back office support here. So I tell our guys on the floor all the time, it's hard to sell service because everybody says that they have service. But I'm going to tell you right now that if I stood up with our top 20 competitors in the marketing organization business, and I said, hey, the best thing that we do here at IAMS is service, they'd probably all be shaking their head yes, because they know that there isn't anybody out there that offers a level of support and service that IAM does, whether it's from you're submitting your app to getting the commission, or whether you're looking for a proposal and you need some information right away, whether you're just making a phone call in here and you need to talk to somebody. We've got a 3-ring guarantee. You're going to get a live answer, and you're going to get someone that's knowledgeable and helpful and can get you where you need to be on the phone, so that if you're sitting in the house with a client, you can get that answer and get it done. If you need a proposal right away, you just let your individual know, hey, this is what I'm looking for and this is what I need. We can get you out a nice comparison of every opportunity out there. If you want to talk to somebody about, hey, this is what I'm thinking, more of a case design, to be able to call in and get the answer right away is a great benefit. Have somebody tracking your business through the system from the point that at which you send it in to us to the point at which it goes out and commissioned to you. Nobody is better at that than I am. So take advantage of those two. And, if you include some other service items in there, for instance, your marketing support services. So if you need a website or you need your Facebook page set up or you need some help doing a Facebook post so that you can get some people to your next seminar, we do all of that stuff. I include all that stuff in service. And I'm going to tell you that most of our competitors would agree that nobody is better at it than us here at I am. So whatever we can do to help you grow your business, give us a shot. Call in, ask for the assistance, and you'll be pleased with the results. I mentioned a little bit about some of our creative marketing solutions that we can help you with. And so whether that's a website or help with putting your business cards and letterhead together, or whether you're looking for brochures for your business, we've got a whole slew of brochures that a lot of our guys use. These are tested, tried and true pieces that you can use with your client. We insert your logo, get you everything you need. So all you have to do is say, okay, this is what I like. This is what I want it to look like. Hey, by the way, I need some help with a new logo. We can do that for you. There's a lot of things that we can do. And my bottom line is that when you're looking for creative services and, you're looking for assistance in building your brand and growing your business, there's some basic things you have to have in place. And then there's things that you move on from there. With your brochures and your pieces and your Facebook to have a nice cogent brand that you bring about. And if you went to an ad agency and said, okay, this is what I'm looking for, it'd be literally thousands of dollars, and you'd spend a lot of time trying to walk them through what you need to do. You've got all that here right in place at IAMS from A to Z and that. So we know what works. We know what doesn't. We know the verbiage, so you don't have to go through all that. You can get your logo just the way you like it. We can get everything set up just the way that makes it make most sense for you. And we've got tried and true methods and tools that we can bring to bear and get that done for you. So if you're looking for that type of help in your business, give us a call here. Talk to your annuity sales director, your life sales director first. We'll get you through to the creative services department and get that rolling for you. So take advantage of that. It's just really crazy not to do that. Website, we're going to be upgrading that website, doing some different things with it. So the part where it says excellent sales tools, those are going to increase for you notably and make your life a lot easier in a lot of different ways. But you're still going to have everything on that website that you're used to. So if you want to just email or go on the website and say, okay, let's get a quote, and email that over to your sales director and have that back in your inbox with very little trouble for you. You can still do that. If you want to go on and get a term quote, you can still do that. If you looking to get the forms that you need to do business, all that stuff is still going to be there, but you're going to see some nice additions to that website. We may launch as early as not this Friday, but the following on that. So watch for that. If you haven't looked at our website lately, you should look at the current one as well. There's the same look and feel is going to be there. So, take some time with your sales director and say, okay, what's out there on your website that I can use to grow our business? Retirement Analyzer, this is a free service right now that we offer here at IAMS. If you've ever heard of the Retirement Analyzer, you know that the cost for that, if you went out and purchased it on your own, is going to be $600-700 a year. We're taking care of that cost for our producers. We have paid a fee. We pay a monthly fee to have access for a certain level of producers, and right now we're below that level. So if you looked at the Retirement Analyzer and that's of interest to you, but you want to test drive it, give us a call and call Marcus here in our office. Just call and ask for Marcus, and he'll walk you through that, get you online, and let you look at it, show you how you can use that to grow your business. If you're not using a tool like the Retirement Analyzer, then I think you'll be very pleased with what that can do to help you grow your business. So if you're talking to clients and you're trying to help them determine where their shortfalls are, where their risk tolerance is, how they're falling either high or low on that, how they're doing on getting towards their retirement, are they going to be in the green? Are they going to be in the red? The Retirement Analyzer is a great tool, and we can make that available to you at no cost to IAMS right now. It's one of the perks of doing business with IAMS. So if you're not using a tool like that, give Marcus a call and say, hey, walk me through that. Is that something that I can use to help me grow my business? And I think you'll be pleased with how that can work for you. Recently, we introduced the IAMS Wealth Management tool, and if you haven't looked at that new part of our business in depth, I would encourage you to do so. We've all heard about the recent delay in the DOL fiduciary rule. The delay still leaves the producer right now in this interim period since June with some responsibilities, and we can help you with that. And those responsibilities, I think you're going to hear more in the next few months about how those responsibilities could grow and what your liabilities could be. And if you haven't looked at the potential possibility of aligning yourself and being able to offer assets under management by getting a Series 65, call your sales director here and have a conversation with them about that. Or better yet, call Charles Hiring himself and just say, hey, Charles, walk me through a little bit about what you guys are doing at IAMS Wealth Management and how I can notably expand the folks that I'm talking to and be more compliant with what's coming from the fiduciary standard for the business that I'm currently in. I think if it doesn't make sense right now, if you're making a good living in the annuity business, not to consider, going through that testing and having the ability to expand what you can offer your client and protect that client relationship. It just doesn't make any sense not to consider that right now. If on the other hand you have a Series 65 and maybe you're not happy with your RIA, maybe it requires too much of you. Maybe you'd like to be more of an asset gatherer than an asset manager. That's the way that IAMS Wealth is set up. So we put some platforms in place so that as you walk your client through it, it becomes very clear about where they should be. And we've got professional portfolio managers who can put them right where they need to be and actively manage their accounts and keep them within their risk tolerance levels and the return levels. And you become a person that basically just walks them through the process, brings them in the door, and become more of someone that brings assets in and not so much spending so much time on that asset management. There's some good things about that, but frankly, you're going to get better results. I mean, the asset managers are professionals. That's what they do day in and day out. They've got all the tools and all the computer programs and algorithms they need to be successful at that. So you're getting better results for your client. You're not spending the time on it. You've got really a great story to tell around that. And what it allows you to do too is to, keep fees in check and to still make that 1% that most of our folks have become used to on the asset management side on an annual basis. So if you haven't looked at that, if you haven't looked at it as a complement to your annuity business, you should. If you have looked at it, maybe you've got that 65 but not happy with where you're at, give Charles a call. Number, of course, you can call him right at the 800-255-5055 number. We've got one more actually we have two more, but the next one coming up is full. So we've got one more in very early November. If you have interest in joining us for Life in Annuity Academy, by all means, give us a call. We'd love to walk you through that process, show you what we do at the Life and Annuity Academy, send you out a registration link, send you out an agenda. In fact, what I'm going to do here right now, let's see, I'm going to launch a poll and then I'll continue to talk because I want to keep moving along here for us. Okay, so if you do have interest in maybe potentially joining us at an academy, whether it's our final one of this year or one of our first two or three of next year, I'd encourage you to go ahead and check yes on that poll. And what will happen is you'll get a registration form and a sample agenda. You look at those, and if that's of interest to you, send the registration form in. What will happen is you'll get calls as we have academies get scheduled and see if the time fits in for you. But what we do at the academies is probably 80% sales and marketing and growing your business, and 20% or maybe more like 10% product information. We know that the folks that we're looking at targeting at these life and annuity academies are not people that need assistance with understanding the basics of product. We'll get into some details of product. We'll make the connections available that you need to get really specific about product when you need to in the sales process. But we don't talk a lot of product at the Life and Annuity Academy. We're talking about sales and marketing. We'll talk a little bit of product, and then we'll kind of spend that other 10% of time kind of talking about the things that you need to do in your business to protect it and be forward-looking for your business. So it really is a sales and marketing business planning, and that's what's made it, I think, one of the most popular training meeting destinations in the industry over the last. We've been doing them now for 12 years and really have got some renown around that. So if that's of interest to you and you haven't been in the last couple of years, what I'd like you to do is to check yes on that Academy poll that you see open right there. If you've been in the last couple of years, it would help me if you would check no and then give me a call after. I know that there's some value to coming back in, and we've done that from time to time. So I'd certainly be willing to follow up with you on that, and we can talk about it. So if you've been in the last couple of years, if you would check no on that poll, and then give me a call here at the office at 800-255-5055. Just ask for me, just ask for Steve, and we can talk about that and see if it might be a fit for you. As I mentioned, the next one coming up, so I have a question is like, what is the agenda in general? So the one that we have coming up here week after next, which is full, we'll bring you in on a Wednesday. We'll bring you in here to Omaha. We'll take care of your flight. We do take care of expenses, by the way, so we'll take care of your flight and hotel. But we'll get you in on a Wednesday. Usually that Wednesday evening, we'll go ahead and have dinner, and then we'll begin the process of having some conversations. We'll usually Dave will talk a little bit about Social Security claiming. We'll talk about the DOL because that's so important and so key to everybody right now. We'll talk about some ways to evaluate your business and where you're at right now and how you can, some things that you can look at. And then we usually finish up about 8 o'clock that evening. We'll go all the next day. We'll hear from Dave. We have 4 top producers that come in and talk about the things that they do to grow their business. We have Dave, Matt Gill, John Enting, and Anthony Lawrence, and they all have different approaches in their business, different things that they do in their business to grow it every day. With the one common theme is that, hey, let's get you in front of some people to talk to on a good basis, and then let's walk through that process of how do we get them from prospect to client. So that's kind of the general theme of the top producers. Obviously, it's probably the theme of your business as well, and that's what we do, and that encompasses most of that second day and some of Friday, and then we'll close out Friday with some more sales and marketing ideas, some basic here's what we need to do in our agency every day. Here's what we need to do in our business, over the next 2 to 3 months, and try and close it off on a really high note. And then we'll get you back to the airport and get you back on the road by Friday, usually about 12:30, 1 o'clock. So you're going to be out of your office for a solid 3 days. That's the expense to you, that time out of your office. We know how valuable that is to you, and we certainly don't undersell that. But the bottom line is that you're going to leave on Friday afternoon chock full of ideas, and we're hoping that you're taking just a couple of them and putting them in action in your business. You do have to be with IAMS to join us at a Life and Annuity Academy. You have to be appointed with us with carriers. Obviously, folks that are doing business with us get first shot, and the reason for that really is that we need to evaluate on the Life and Annuity Academy that the folks that are coming in are not, it's not 101 stuff. It's 201 and 301 stuff. It's not the most basic stuff about your business and product, but it's kind of that advanced stuff. So we want to make sure that we've got we've got a good solid group of people, a good core group of people that come into these academies. So I see that there are a few of you that have not voted. I'm going to assume that that's because you are not able to or do not want to. So I'm going to close that poll out. There are a couple other questions about Academy, so I will try and come back to answer those as we get moving along here, but I want to close the poll out for now. Let's do that and get moving along. So as far as folks that drive, if you are driving, what we do is we reimburse your mileage for that. Again, we're going to take care of the expense of coming in. And as far as where the academies are located. So sometimes they're here in Omaha, sometimes they're here in Des Moines. Occasionally we'll take one on the road as well, but you're generally going to be flying into the Midwest. So if you have any other questions, certainly get them out there, and I'll answer them as quickly as possible as we're moving along. I did want to make sure that you're all aware of our marketing summit that is going to be held at the Boulders Resort and Spa February 25th through the 28th. Qualification is ongoing. If you've been out to Arizona, you probably have heard of the Boulders. It was voted the best hotel in Arizona by Travel and Leisure last year. It's one of the best golf resorts in the whole Southwest, according to Golf Digest, as you can see there. Great little setup at the Boulders. It'll be a great chance for you to get some time away. It does include you and your guest, and we'd love to have you out there February 25th through the 28th. Many of you I see that are on board with us are well on your way to qualifying. That's great. For those of you that are just joining us, and I do get this question, it's popped up, do we have a way to qualify in a short period of time that is less? We don't have that established. So right now it takes 2 million of credits to qualify, but believe me, we're going to be inviting some folks that are up and comers as well. So if you're just getting on board with us and we get off to a great start together, we'll certainly look and consider inviting you in as well. We'll move along here. So there's going to be opportunity for questions, and I see there's a couple. I'm going to respond to some questions here privately, but I want to get on track with Dave and the 401k IRA rollover seminar game plan. I think you're going to like what we have to offer here. You're going to hear some great things from Dave that can help you whether you decide to do seminars or not, and to have that offer for seminars is great as well. Dave, are you on board with us?
I am. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. My neck hurts from looking not at the sun, but at the moon over the sun.
Yeah. Well, when you get to be
you
Dave's
guys
age,
you guys had a big office party yesterday, didn't you?
well, I wouldn't call it we had a meal and tried to keep everybody being able to answer the phone, but being able to check out, that kind of once in a lifetime event as well. So
that's fun. No, that's real
to
fun. I know you're going in shifts, kind of looking at our big eclipse. That's a fun day yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, a little different, and we were kind of in the heart of it here in Nebraska, so it was kind of fun to see that.
Yeah.
I think I've set the table a little bit, Dave, in terms of who you are and what you do for IAMS, but I'd like you, if you could, to give the folks a little bit of background on yourself. Well, I've tried to move along because I know we want to get folks out on a timely basis here and don't take too much of their time. But if you can give the folks a little background on yourself before we break into what we're talking about, I think that would be a good way to start.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you, everyone, for being on the call with us today. I'm just looking at the number of attendees. Boy, we got a packed house, and that's wonderful. A lot of people want to be able to get in front of more qualified prospects, and seminar marketing is not for everyone. We certainly know that, but if the shoe fits, it's kind of like a Cinderella story. It can be very, very profitable for yourself and to bring many more clients, in your book of business. My name is Dave Pimper, and I'm a producer, so I'm not employed by IAMS, the FMO. I'm a producer in Fremont, Nebraska, which is only about 25 minutes away from IAMS's home office, which is in West Omaha. We're just about another 20 miles further west in a town called Fremont. So been in the business since 1981. So I've been in the financial service arena for a long, long time. A little bit unique about myself is that about 75% of my business is conventional securities business, either fee-based through my 65 license or through my 7 license on securities. But about 25% of my business is with fixed indexed annuities. I do a little bit of single premium life, but I'm not a conventional insurance guy. I use the fixed index as a replacement to other types of guarantees like CDs or money market savings bonds, government bonds, etc. And it's interesting because, back 10 years ago, or actually it's been 13 years ago now that I started showing fixed indexed annuities. People in my brokerage business, friends of mine, was like, annuities, and they would think negative things of them and high surrender charges and blah, blah, blah. And now, as you can see, fixed indexed is certainly making its inroads within the broker-dealer arena and really seeing the benefits of a specific guarantee. I'm a big seminar provider, over 460 seminars since the mid-'80s. And so what I'm going to do today, this is a seminar that I put together myself. And when I say that, I probably plagiarize, not literally, but take ideas from other seminar providers, and maybe 40 or 50% is kind of my own twist on things of what I think that I kind of honed in of what's appealing to the seminar attendee. Why seminars? When you can get in front of a group of people and you can give one presentation and then you can solicit from them, not shoving it down their throat, but soliciting. If they have an interest, they can mark yes that they want a consultation or no that they don't. And because we've done so many workshops here, in fact, we've got 2 full-time administrators with Craig and with Amy that support my business and my marketing needs. What happens is that seminars play a vital part, not just with myself, but with the group that we have. And I do coaching with seminar coaching also that I get paid for. So I'm not in the hierarchy of yourself, but I get paid from coaching. And IAMS, if you qualify, covers for the majority of that, which we'll talk here before we're all done. So what's the reason of attending this webinar today? One should be to really understand whether you've ever have done a seminar before, or whether you've had success or not success. This is a track that is successful. Now, does it guarantee a success? No, but it puts you certainly on the right track. Why 401ks and IRA rollovers? Seems like every seminar talks about retirement planning, but we narrowed it way down, specifically 401ks, specifically IRAs. No difference than, we're not talking about this today, but I also do Social Security workshops, specifically Social Security. It seems like in the old days, back 20, 25, 30 years ago, the generality of a workshop could bring people in, but people like a specific subject. And what's better than probably the largest asset they have, even larger than their house equity, or their boat equity, or their car equity, is their 401k equity, or 403b, or 457 government. I consider those kind of twin sisters or triplets there. So if you've got questions, type them on in. And then part of this will be not just of teaching what I think the benefits of seminar marketing, but also to have some of the benefits here of learning more in depth about the retirement 401k IRA rollover, the marketplace. Okay, so if you got questions, type them in, and we'll kind of take off. And I think Steve has given me the control, so off we go. So those are going to be about maybe half the slides or so are going to be here. So not all the slides are, but maybe half of the slides, you get kind of a feeling of what we're talking about, okay? And you'll see those are very educational in nature, even though this is not, I say, Social Security, you can do that without a meal. It's pretty hard to do this without a meal. It isn't strong enough information, so you got to have a little bit of the incentive of a person having a meal there. And I know there's people out there that say, I just hate the people that come. Maybe, 20 or 25% of the people that are there strictly for the meal. That's just part of doing business. That's just a collateral part of doing business. So I always do this with a meal, okay? And we're hoping to get anywhere from 35 to 45 people between 2 nights. That'll give us about 27, 26 buying units is what we need to be successful with this seminar marketing, okay? So off we go. So let's do this. We got 5 questions here real quick about how much do you really know about retirement planning. So I'm going to ask the question, and you put down the answer, and let's see of just how much insight you have. So you make your initial Roth IRA contribution for the 2015 tax year on April 15th of 2016. We can do that up to the filing time. April 15th of 2016. How many years do you have to wait to withdraw all of your money tax-free? Meaning the earnings, the growth. How long do you have to wait? Okay, put the answer down. What's the answer? 3 years, 8.5 months. Almost everyone's going to go in and say it's the 5-year rule. But here's the interesting thing. For whatever tax year, whenever you put your money into the Roth, it always backdates to January 1 of that tax year. Interesting, huh? Yeah. Question 2, what type of trust do you have to establish for your IRA when your intent is to make sure your designated or your human beneficiaries within that trust are able to stretch out the tax deferral for their lifetime? So a beneficiary IRA, a stretch IRA. What kind of trust do you have to have? Any idea? It's a see-through trust, or it's called a look-through trust. Those are types of conduit trusts. So they look through and they see the heartbeat, they see the individual. And then you can have a beneficiary IRA if that is the case. Number 3, what type of trust do you have to establish for your non-IRA? Remember, there's still beneficiaries with the non-IRA annuity. When your intent is to make sure the designated human beneficiaries within that trust are able to stretch out the tax deferral. Any idea? For a non-IRA. Can't be done. in a non-IRA. Just the 5-year tax rule applies for the latest. What does the designation of per stirpes mean, containing to beneficiaries? Per stirpes? You know what that means? It's a Latin phrase meaning by root or by branch. So it just means the bloodline. It goes down through the kids. So if you haven't changed your beneficiary and your brother passes, you still have a sister-in-law and you have two nieces or a niece and nephew. The money goes to the nieces and nephew right by the bloodline. The other one is per capita, by head. If that was the case, they wouldn't get anything. Maybe the other brother would get it all. Yeah. Okay. Those are kind of tougher questions, a little bit tricky questions on that trust one, but I'll tell you what, there's lots of information, and when we're going through those slides, you will see that there's a lot of information that is thrown out. Now, in the next 20-25 minutes, I'm going through faster than I normally would. I'm not covering as much information as the actual seminar itself. But this is the first slide, and it says, let's talk about, like I'm talking to the group, let's talk about the potential rollover options for your retirement plan, specifically 401ks, 403bs, 457s. 401ks are for-profit plans. And I normally say a local company like Hormel or Valmont or 3M. They have 401 Kellogg's. They have 401k plans. 403b is non-profit. Those could be like for hospitals or for it could be for the school teachers. And then 457 are government plans. And there's some certainly a lot of similarities. There's some where are non-similar, but they're really they're triplets here as far as retirement plans are concerned. So what are your options when you're not employed there any longer? Well, you can do nothing. You can just leave your money there. You could roll it into a new company retirement plan. You could take a lump sum distribution. You could convert it to a Roth IRA, or you could roll it over, transfer it, and a tax-free transfer over to a traditional IRA. Now, time out. Of those 5, which ones do we get compensated on? Well, if they do nothing, we don't. If they roll it over to a new company retirement plan, we don't. If they take a lump sum distribution, unless they're investing that with you, that normally aren't, they don't. Convert to a Roth IRA, they could, and rolling it over and transferring to a traditional, that's where we really go in and can help them and work with those assets. Now, what you'll see is I like, from a compliance standpoint, for the folks who are securities registered, Series 6, 7, 65, 66, this is FINRA reviewed, okay? So we go in here and we talk about doing nothing. So let's see if we can jump that to the next one here. There we go. Yeah, so then I talk about doing nothing. So what happens if you do nothing? Well, unless it's under 5,000, they're going to leave it there most likely. They're going to let you be able to keep it there. Okay? So if you do nothing, it stays there. How about if you leave? Say you're fired, you're let go, you sever employ, you retire, any of those. Well, what would be a reason to stay and keep some of that money into a 401k? And here's one of the reasons is, if you're, and most people don't know this, everyone knows about the 59.5 rule. If you're not 59.5 years of age and you take money out of your 401k, not a loan, but take actually money and withdraw it out, what happens is that you're going to have a 10% taxation upon that, and taxed, but there's a penalty to take it out. But if you're 55 years of age or older, and it happens to you, for that company retirement plan, you can take out money and not have a 10% penalty. So if someone comes to you and says, we're thinking about buying a new car for $30,000, we want to pay cash on it. Well, you know what? If you did from an IRA, you're going to pay the 10% penalty, but not a 401k. It's not. You can go ahead and take that out without there being a penalty. So that's there's sometimes where we leave money in there if they think they're going to take it out. We just want to work with the money that they're not going to touch for the next, years up until the age of 59 and a half. Yeah, interesting. Also, and most people don't know that about the 55 rule. Other considerations, ERISA. So 401ks are under the ERISA, and as of right now, IRAs are not. And so what happens now, the Department of Labor could change that. It's in some comment period right now. But what happens is that there may be or could be more protection from creditors, bankruptcy and creditors, the 401k is than the IRA. Nebraska doesn't make much difference, but some states it could make a difference. So you're given information that the person normally doesn't know. How about rolling over your retirement funds to a new company retirement plan? Yeah, I've kind of got the same thing as keeping it there, but I do add with that service and guidance. What real service and guidance do you get unless you pay like a mutual fund company who has never met you, doesn't understand all of your ins and outs as far as financials? They're just allocating that money according to risk and charging. Yeah. You get service and guidance if you work with a professional. Also, you might want to think about keeping it there is if you get loans against your plan. I'm not in favor of that, but you're kind of paying back interest on your own money. But yeah, loan provisions are with 401ks, 403bs, etc., but it certainly isn't with IRAs. All right? Or you can take a lump sum distribution. And the lump sum distribution, some people say, gosh, if rates go up, I might as well just take it all out and be taxed on it. Doesn't happen often. It normally is not a very good move to do that. If you do it, the government's going to hold back, or the company will hold back 20% for federal income tax. They don't trust you. Well, if you jump ship and go to Australia or New Zealand, yeah. So what happens is that they take, if you have a 500,000, they're going to take out 100,000 and pay taxes for you. Yeah, they don't trust us. Many employees, almost half of the employees, still cash out of 401ks. It's pretty interesting. But a good reason to take a lump sum is called net unrealized appreciation, NUA. And NUA is not very well known. So here's what happens is, if the person has stock in the company that they're leaving, say you work for IBM and you got IBM stock. Well, here's what happens is, and I'm just making this up now hypothetically, but say that you've got $400,000 in your 401k. And 100,000 of that is an IBM stock, the company who you have worked for years and years and now retiring from. What happens is that when you take money out of an IRA, unless it's Roth, what this is say it's not, so this is traditional, you've got a tax deduction on every bit of money that goes into that plan, but the government wants taxation on every bit of money that plan has grown to. Yeah. So let's say you got $100,000 worth of IBM stock, but you put in on that IBM stock for 30, 35 years, and you only have $10,000 of cost basis on that stock, 10 grand, and it's worth $100,000 now over the 40, 45 years. That's how much that stock's appreciated. Here's what happens. It depends on the brackets you're in, of how high your bracket. The higher it is, the more valuable this is, and how much the stock is appreciated. But if you took that $100,000 out, put it into an individual account for yourself, and just moved the stock over, the IBM stock moves over, you're taxed only on the basis. That's it. You're taxed ordinary income tax on the basis. All of the rest of the gain is taxed at a long-term capital gain basis. Big savings. Long-term capital gain, 15 or 20% versus could be up to 39.6%. And don't forget about state tax. Yeah, it's a big deal. Big deal. Now, what happens is it has to be your company stock. It can't be working for IBM and all of a sudden you're going to do 3M stock. It doesn't work that way. All right? So this is called net unrealized appreciation, or NUA. And this is a reason to go in and take your money out, in a lump sum. All of your mutual fund, the other 300,000 of that figure before, it has to come out by the end of the year. All the money has to be out by the end of the year. I love this Henry Heine quote. It says, "Experience is a good school, but the fees are high." Don't want to make a mistake when it comes to rolling over or transferring money from a 401k to an IRA or another 401k, and you certainly want to do it the right way. Now, I'm not going to go through all but how a Roth works, but it talks about the 5-year holding rule, but we know now it could be as short as 3 years, 8.5 months. As long as you got earned income, there's no age limitation. There's no RMDs, required minimum distributions, for the husband or the wife. There is for the child if they both die, but of course it's tax-free. It's a great way to transfer wealth. Okay? Now, a Roth conversion is where you go in and you're taking money from a traditional IRA and you're converting it over to a Roth IRA. And why do people want to do that? They want to do that because you're going from a tax-deferred account, that's taxed as ordinary income tax, to a tax-free account. Tax-free. Nothing really beats tax-free. So you can convert at any time, regardless of your age or your income. It's not a factor. The 5-year rule on each conversion comes into play. IRAs are not. It's just your first IRA. The 5-year rule starts after 5 years, and so you put your money in, it's tax-free. Now it's conversions. So if you do 3 conversions, 3 years in a row, 100, 100, and 100,000, then you got a 5-year rule on the 100, and 5-year rule on the 100, and 5-year rule on the 100. Okay? We do a lot of partial conversions. I got one right now. The guy's got about $500,000, and he just doesn't want to get the higher bracket, but he's been converting $25,000 to $35,000 every year for several years now. His goal is to convert $200,000 over the next 10, 12 years. Yeah. Now, what you're doing here is you're turning deferred into tax-free. But remember, you have to pay the taxes when it comes out. The more you take out, the higher your taxes are. If you're not making a lot of money and you're right on the very verge of Social Security, because there's an what happens with Social Security on taxation. So if you're married and filing jointly, if you're under that $32,000, you don't pay any taxes on Social Security. If you're over that, then half or even all of your Social Security is going to be taxed. But you might be able to go in through a conversion and keep your income down. Because remember, after conversion, everything on that Roth is tax-free. Every one of the slides that I have, I've written the language for it. So it goes through each and every single part of the slide and the bullet points of exactly what to say. Okay? If there's any questions at all, certainly type them on in. How about recharacterization? That's the oops rule. What if you had a change of heart? Or, boy, that $4,000 paying in taxes didn't seem like a lot 6 months ago, but man, I'm short on cash. As long as you do it before October the 15th of the next year, that's the deadline, you can go back in and say, you know what, I want to recharacterize that Roth. I want to go in and just do it over like it never happened. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Now, once you recharacterize, you've got to wait 30 days or until January 1 of the next year, whichever is longer. And most of the times it'll be January 1 of next year. So what's another reason someone would recharacterize? And I'm just making this up for the securities end, but let's say that you bought an energy stock 2 years ago, and energy went down about from 90 some a barrel to 20-some dollars, $26 a barrel. I mean, so like mutual funds lost, or single stocks like Shell or Exxon, they lost half of their value or more. And so what happens, let's say that you've got some, I'm just making this up, you got XYZ energy stock or XYZ energy fund, oil fund, and you got 100,000 that you're going to convert, and you look at it in 8 months. It's like you look at it in July, and October the 15th is your deadline, and all of a sudden that value is worth 50,000, not 100,000. Well, I pay taxes on 100 when it's only worth 50. You go in and just you stop the Roth conversion, and you recharacterize it. Oops rule. Oops. I want to trend like I never did anything. Now you do have to wait till the end of the year or 30 days, whichever is longer. But what happens is but you're only paying taxes on what the actual, or you're only paying taxes on what the actual value's worth. That's how kind of that recharacterization works, and we go in much more in depth when I talk about it. I've got there's about 30 attachments that we mail out that shows articles on the Roth and articles on inherited IRAs, etc. So how do you move your 401k to an IRA? This is where we get compensated. There's indirect rollovers and there's direct rollovers and transfers. Indirect rollovers where you actually receive the money. You got 60 days to go in and roll that over. I don't like that idea. It's risky. I like a direct rollover transfer that you never have control of that money. It goes directly to the custodian or the trustee. But then I have a slide that talks about indirect rollovers, and specifically, check is made payable to you, check is mailed to you, 60-day time limit begins when you receive your distribution, et cetera, et cetera. You can only do one rollover per year. That was enacted 2 years ago in 2015. If you do a rollover for 100,000, do a rollover for 1,000, you know that all of that money is taxed. You can't do 2 rollovers within a 12-month period. I say per year, but it's a 12-month running period. Yeah, very, very staunch rules and tight rules when it comes to this. But I call custodian and trustee, I use interchangeably, custodian to custodian. You never see the money, trustee to trustee. You actually, there's big firms like Fidelity that over the phone you can just go in and get the check mailed to you, but it's mailed out to you, but it's made out to the custodian for your benefit. Well, that works. That you can't cash it, can you? Not legally. No, it's made out to the new IRA custodian. Okay, whoever XYZ custodian or trustee. So so all you do is you can't endorse it. It's just for the benefit. You make sure you saw it, take a picture of it, or copy of it, and then you send it on off to the custodian. That works. No 20% is taken out. You can do as many as you want, whenever you want, with any kind of liability. There's no once per 12-month rule. Okay? So direct rollover or transfer, you can do it with existing IRAs. You can do it with new money coming into new IRAs. But why? And then we talk about continued tax deferral. More investment options. One of the poorest things I think on the 401k marketplace, and I mean 403b, 457, is their range of guaranteed strategies. It's very limited. Maybe a stable fund, maybe a money market, maybe a short-term bond fund, but none of those have a true guarantee that the principal won't move a penny. Fixed index annuities do, and fixed annuities, of course. But you have far more investment options. There's less rules, far fewer rules with IRAs than there is on the 401k marketplace because of one being with ERISA and one not being covered. Fees. Fees could be higher or lower outside of their plan, but the fixed index doesn't have any internal fees, does it? Unless you have a rider, no internal fees. There's a cap. Yeah. There's surrender charges. Are the fees lower? You darn right they are. And a lot of people, when they get up in age, and we work on a pre-retired and retired crowd, what happens is they want to make it simple. They want to consolidate, a lot of their monies, and it's a great way to go in and start working with that money. We talk about beneficiary options. I'm not going to be long-winded here, but leave blank, name your estate or will, your spouse if married, your children, your grandchildren, other individuals, charity, which you wouldn't use a Roth because a Roth's already tax-free, and a traditional IRA going into a charity magically turns into tax-free for that charity. And then I talk about the 7 reasons I don't hear, but I do in the real workshop, okay? I've got all the money I'll ever need if I die by 4 o'clock. Henny Youngman, comedian. Yeah, funny stuff. Funny stuff. He's 92 when he died. You know, what happens here is I like to keep a little bit of brevity when it comes to, you know, the seminars themselves. Keep a little lighthearted. Stretching the benefit, how a stretch IRA works, separate account rule works, naming your estate a will. I mean, the benefit's not really a good thing to do because it does go into probate then, and probate takes time and costs money. I talk about how to inherit your IRA, how to title that IRA. You have to have deceased on there, the date for the benefit for whom. Yeah. And you must take RMDs by December 31st of the year after the death of the owner. Okay? So you've got some leeway there before your first RMD. Remember we talked about per stirpes? Well, here we talk about per capita and per stirpes. And then TODs, transfer on deaths. Those are beneficiaries for non-IRA accounts, set up very similar to regular beneficiaries. It's just that this is a non-IRA account, and we recommend to do that. RMDs, the people kind of get interesting about RMDs, and then we talk about qualified longevity annuity contracts, and that we talk about it in a general standpoint. That's the only product that we talk about. And really, if the qualified longevity annuity contract, the QLAC, government endorses it. It's a way to go in and defer RMDs. You eventually have to pay for those, but you can defer them way out into your 80s. And what happens is that I don't think it's a great product, but I do think that it grabs a lot of attention. And for the right person, a real high net worth, tremendous amount of money, they're going to have so much RMD and taxes, it could be certainly worth to defer some of that. It's a guaranteed insurance contract through a fixed annuity type of chassis, okay? But we talk about QLACs and the ins and outs of QLACs, what's positive about QLACs, etc. Okay? I'm proud to be paying taxes in the U.S. The only thing is, I could be just as proud for half the money. Arthur Godfrey. Arthur Godfrey, we used to listen to his radio show when I was a little bitty kid in the 50s. That's how, I mean, you can tell how old I am, but he was a kind of a talk show / humorous, like Will Rogers kind of, yeah. And so it's, I used to have some specific jokes in specific funny lines that I paid a royalty to, but of course those are quotes and anyone can use those, as we do. An in-service non-hardship withdrawal plan doesn't have quite the luster since the 55 and over has come into play, but you know, if you're 50 years of age and you've got 500,000 in your 401k, and that's very important that you need that for income. You want to retire at an early age, say 50. Well, you can. And I take this back. And I'm thinking 72T. Excuse me. In-service hardship withdrawal plan. Let me revert here a little bit. My bad. What happens on an in-service non-hardship withdrawal plan, just like Valmont here in town, they have where if you are the age of 59 and a half or over, what happens is that you can go in and normally take that money out without paying any penalty from the 401k and still be working there. Well, that's pretty sweet. Not everyone has an in-service hardship withdrawal plan, but if they do, you're able to work with some of that money or all of that money if you want to, and they can still be working and putting into their 401k plan. So that's pretty nice to have a in-service non-hardship withdrawal. It gives you access, saying, gosh, I wish they would be retired, we could roll it over. As long as they're 59 and a half and they have a provision of a non-hardship withdrawal plan and service plan, they can go in and take that money and still work there. Yeah, pretty interesting. And then it's interesting because this talks about the ins and outs of that non-hardship withdrawal plan. Okay? Also right in here is I did talk about 72T. I don't have it on those slides because I pared those slides down for the presentation. But you can tell we talk about a lot of stuff. And then Social Security, whether you have a background or not in Social Security, it's on people's minds. And one of the things is it says consider using your IRA money and delaying your Social Security. Why delay it? Well, if you delay it from 60, say your full retirement age is 62. So that means you were born from 1943 to 1954. Full retirement age is 66. If you wait from 62 to 66, your account's guaranteed to grow 25%. Guaranteed to grow 25%. Plus cost of living. If you wait from 66 to 70, it's guaranteed to grow 32% plus cost of living. So if cost of living is 2%, you got a 40% bigger paycheck, monthly paycheck, if you wait to 70 to take it 66. So you got to take RMDs anyway with your retirement money. Maybe just take your retirement money early. I got a guy I just met with. I mean, he's letting his kind of high value Social Security grow. He's got longevity in his family, and he's willing to do that. It's a smart move. Yeah, and we also teach Social Security claiming with seminar marketing. But if you don't know Social Security, you can take the slide out. But I think it's an important slide because it gets people to really start thinking about their situation. So, there's a lot to think about. So I'll just kind of finish, and I'll kind of say what I say on the slides a little bit. A bunch of many retirees just don't really understand what the rules and what the regulations and what the options are. And you're trying to make a decision how to maximize, how to go in and protect the money you've worked so hard for. Take out your consultation. I'm just a little quick. We'll take out your consultation form. And on here we got marked, if you mark yes, I'd like to have a consultation, there's no strings attached. I always say leave your checkbook at home. But go in and just mark the date and the time. So timeout right there. They're marking a date and time. And we pick those up at the end of the workshop themselves. And then I go through, here's my promise. I say leave your checkbook at home. And I'm going to uncover one financial problem, whether you elect to come back for another appointment or not. That's up to you if you want to extend it. But I'll cover and give you an idea of how to alleviate that financial problem you have. And then I go through, I say, what are the best rollover options for my company retirement plan? If you don't know what they are, maybe you need to mark yes on the consultation form. Could a Roth conversion benefit me? We have very good educational insight on that. How do I complement Social Security with my 401k? If you're not a Social Security person or don't know it, maybe you want to leave that off, but I have an expertise there, and I coach that also. A lot of people are very, very murky when it comes to 401k. Could just different investment choices benefit me? And you might say, and I'm just giving you an idea, what happens is that, we're out 9 years. We're in the 101st month of the bull market. We've not had a bear market going into the 9th year. The average bull market runs around 5 years. Your stock investments may look really good now, but how are they going to look a year from now? You don't know, do you? We've got real expertise when it comes to very, very competitive interest rate on guaranteed strategies. I don't use the word annuities. I just say guaranteed strategies. So if your guaranteed account in your 401k or your IRA is not substantial, it's not just 0.5% or 1%, you know what? Maybe we need to talk. Maybe we need to mark yes on that consultation form. And then beneficiaries, I'll tell you that there's specific rules and regulations of how to inherit. We have expertise in that arena. And lastly, just a second opinion. My wife says a second opinion sometimes is the very best opinion. Yeah, we're truly independent. We're not captive, and we can give you just good horse sense advice on about your finances. You might want to mark yes. And then the way I ended with George Foreman. As everybody knows, Big George, don't they? Yeah. Heavyweight boxing champion, made a ton of money. But does anybody know where he made the majority of his money? You're right, the George Foreman Grill. So they'll say that, George Foreman Grill. That's exactly right. If you go in and Google it up, he made $136 million to use his name, not counting overrights from the grill. Unbelievable. So I always say this, unless your name is on a grill, you probably need to mark yes and come in and see me, and hopefully I can give you some really great ideas. Thank you very much for your time. And that's what I do. And then you wait, and then they fill out their evaluation form, and then we pick that up as, this is a meal. So then we go to the dinners, and once all the forms are picked up, then we serve the salads. So that's an hour presentation. You can tell there's more than that to it, but you're going to learn a lot about retirement plans. But the great thing is those people that are in attendance, they're not there just for the fun of it. They're there because they have a retirement plan, a 401k or an IRA. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have come. Steve, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you, see if there's any questions, and kind of to put up the polling question also.
You betcha, Dave. And there are quite a few questions, so I'm going to I'll throw the poll up here, and we'll try and answer some, and then I'll give them a little background here, and then we'll go and answer some questions. So I'm going to put up a poll for coaching right now, and if it's something that you have interest in. Let's see here. There we go. So if it's something you have interest in, go ahead and mark yes. If not interested, hit no. And maybe before you do either, I want to just give you a little background. So we've been offering seminars here at IAMS by seminars made available to us by producers for about 13, 14 years now. And in our first couple of years, we had a lot of interest in seminars. In fact, we had a lot of guys that took the seminars that we made available to them and did them, but we didn't see the success that we've seen since then. And the reason for that is because we didn't require the step-by-step coaching, and so we've got a couple folks that do that, and obviously Dave Pimper has been a coach with us on many levels, and he has done the lion's share. In fact, if you ask Dave, he'd probably say 100% of his business is one way or another related to seminars, whether it's somebody that was sat in a seminar 3 years ago and then came back because they heard of his name from someone else, or a referral from somebody at a seminar. But he would probably say that 95 to 100% of his business comes from the seminar part of his practice. And that being said, when you've got somebody that depends on their business and is as good as the coaching process as Dave is, it's a great combination. And we really believe here at IAMS, through tried and true and proof along the way, that having a coach involved in that process with helping you set up the mailing, getting the right demographics, getting the right location, getting the reservation line set up, getting the actual seminar, how do we do that? And Dave, we do have about 4 or 5 questions about your seminar process, so we'll hit on those in just a second. But getting all those processes just right, how do you go through that first appointment? What happens at the second appointment? And what process do you use? So that coaching, there's potential for losing business at every step along there. In fact, I'd say there's probability of losing business at every step along that process. And you can just minimize that probability by having that one-on-one coaching. So we think it's very important. We think we have the best coaching producers in the industry with us right now. And I think you'll agree when you hear a little bit about what Dave has accomplished, that you have to say, someone that's done 450 public seminars now, would you say, Dave?
Yeah, about 461.
about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's nothing, you can't buy that experience, but you can certainly get a great deal of it transferred by somebody that is good at it, which Dave is. So we highly recommend the coaching. We highly recommend Dave. I don't think you're going to find a better combination of coach seminar than what you got right here with Dave. So I hope you have some interest in that. And the only way you really know is to take some time and spend some time on the phone with Dave. Dave would tell you that, spend a little time on the phone with him. You're going to get something out of that, whether you decide to go with seminars or not. You're going to get something out of that. So I would recommend the yes on that poll. And I see most of you voted while I've been talking here, so I've probably been talking too long. But let's answer some questions here really quick, Dave. And so there are a couple of questions that involve how you go about actually during the course of the seminar seating people and welcoming them, and then how you go about after you finish your seminar and talking to them as they're filling out their surveys. Can you walk through what you do during those times, how you welcome people and how you answer questions and stuff after you do the seminar while they're filling out their survey?
Sure. People come to a workshop like this because it's a fun thing. It's an entertainment night. It's kind of a social night. So we've got people grouped in 4 tops or 6 tops together at a table. They're interacting. They're wearing name tags. So when people walk in, we have actually a sign that says Financial Management Workshop this way, because I do a lot of different ones. This is one of the main ones I've been doing as of late. When they come in, then Craig or Amy, I have one of the administrators that is with me, and what will happen is that they're there. They greet the people. They give them the name tag. There's a sign in the securities business, and I would recommend this also in the insurance business too. But we're required to have a sign in sheet. So it's a sign in with them. They're given a packet, which we go through all this with you ahead of time, of course. But the packet has your bio in it. It might have some promotional piece. Mine happens to be I was written up on a local publication here, wrote up on kind of my background and what I have expertise in. That's in there. I put a newsletter in there, a piece of scratch paper. There could be an article on retirement planning. And if there's securities license, you got to get that compliance approved. Insurance isn't quite strict, but they get that packet so they kind of look at stuff in the green folder. And what happens is that earlier ones can sit where they want to, but we always have a few extra seats. So most of the people come. If you have, we're gearing for. We'd like to get 20 people a night. We'd like to get 40 people, and we mail out 6,000 pieces. So that's about 0.8% of the response. In the old days, we could get 1.1 or 1.2, but it's harder now with all of the internet and everything, availability of information. So, and we're not mailing to millennials. We're mailing to, depending on your area, but either 50 or 55 and over, and then up to late 70s, 77, 78. I don't like to go much over that because those people are pretty set in on their ways, of what they're working with. But Craig Jones, he is my administrator that works with my coaching people. So setting up the demographics in your area, setting up the restaurant or the place to have it, setting up the actual invitation itself, setting up the 800 number. Craig walks you through everything. In fact, we don't make the outbound calls for you, but we can do almost everything else internally to really save, because most people don't have a lot of administration when they're one-man shops or one-woman shops in the insurance business. So we're here to help. We're here to get you on the track. We're here to coach you to success, and that's our goal. And the more success you have in production, the happier I am, and we certainly would like a good part of that business to run through IAMs. I mean, we're not having contractual, but we certainly are helping you, and most people, that is their goal, to run that business IAM, so it makes Steve happy. So it's kind of a win-win-win situation, and hopefully the client is getting a very good financial strategy too. So we've got lots of help when it comes to setting up the room, how you sit the people, how you greet. I actually do greet with this one. I don't in the socials, because that's not as education. That's educational, and this is more social. But I'm saying hi to the people. I've actually called them ahead of time, and I've talked to that person ahead of time. So it's that familiarity. People like to do business with people they like and feel comfortable with, and we hope that's the case in our seminar system.
Dave, I know we're running short on time. We're going to have a mutiny if we don't answer a couple questions. So a couple people want to know your business breakout, and I think you talked about that a little bit. So you do annuities, you do securities. Is it assets under management, or how are you doing that?
Yeah, remember this. When you have a workshop like this, we're not talking about any particular product. The only product that we even talk about is QLAX, because it's so brand new. It's only 2 years old. Very few of those have been marketed here as of late, but the idea about deferring RMDs is good. I like to bring that up. So what happens is, it does not make a difference. If you're more holistic and you do securities and guarantees, you will probably capture more dollars, because maybe if a person's got $400,000, they said, I would consider putting half of that in the guarantee, but I want the other half variable. Well, if you don't have a securities license, it's hard to work with that money, and you don't really want to take a round peg and push it into a square hole and forcing them into that guarantee. But I normally average on a workshop like this, I would like to get $350,000 of dollars to roll. That it's between 300,000 and 400,000 probably if you're just strictly insurance and you're showing annuities. But see, I don't do any life insurance, and there's lots of life insurance in those that I certainly could be. I certainly could be working with, but I don't. I mean, Curtis up in Grand Rapids works with a lot of life insurance. There's a lot of fixed indexed annuity business, but so it's what you do. I mean, I don't do med sups, but if you're a med sup expert, you're probably showing med sups. If you're a life insurance, probably showing more life. But I think that the workshop, because IAMS does a lot of business. I mean, a lot of business with fixed indexed annuities. It's hard for me not to say that most people in that pre-retired or just retired, how they don't need some of that money guaranteed. And Steve, and I'm not trying to promote IAMS, but I'll tell you what, the industry fixed indexed, that's a pretty winnable financial product in today's day and time with the market volatility the way it is. Yeah.
Yep. And I know, again, we're really short on time, so just a brief answer, kind of run through the numbers. How many people you get at seminars? What do you normally make on a given seminar, just on average? And I know you're going to be conservative as always.
Yeah, you know what? Average is interesting because if water's boiling and then water's freezing, you average about 105 degrees or 6 degrees. So I would say this, my goal for me is $500,000. I would like to bring $500,000 in every time that I have a mail out. So I think if you're not quite as polished or haven't done quite as many as me, maybe it's 250 to 300. Yeah, I would say assets under management. So that could be fixed index. That could be single premium life. That could be mutual funds, variable annuities. It could be, but just money available that you're working with. I would say that the goal should be a minimum of $250,000. That should be the goal, the minimum.
Yep. Yeah. There are a lot of other questions here, but we have run over time, as sometimes we do. So I want to cut it short here right now. And the folks that we didn't have the questions answered, I'm going to make sure that Dave and his team have those questions. And they'll get back with you. So let's do this. I'm going to close that poll out. Most of you voted. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm going to close this poll out. And if you have any other questions that you want to chat with me about, you can certainly call me here at the office. You're going to call and somebody's going to pick up the phone here pretty quick, and you're going to talk to a live body. Just let them know you want to talk to Steve Murray, and my number is 800-255-5055. I've had 3 questions here about whether we can get a copy of this presentation. So after this webinar, you're going to get an email. It's going to say, hey, if you want to see a recording of this presentation, here it is at this location. So you'll have that with you. Dave's team is going to follow up with you if you show interest in learning more about what he does with seminars. And our team here is going to follow up with you if you showed interest in the Life and the Annuity Academy. So that's what's going to happen post the webinar here today. If you have any questions, we'd love to chat with. If you have questions you want to chat with Dave, we'll get you right in touch with him. Hopefully you found this valuable and interesting information to help your business. We appreciate that you join us here on a Tuesday. We know there's a lot of things that you can do, and we appreciate that you join us here at IAMS. That's what we're all about, is putting you in front of the right ideas and things to help you grow your business. And a big part of that is working with Dave Pimper on the sales and marketing side. So, Dave, I want to thank you as well. Anything you want to say before we finish up?
No, just thank you for everybody taking their time. I tell you what, seminar marketing, so many people have tried it, but they tried it on a very minimalistic kind of an idea. They didn't get coached. They didn't have a track to run from. They didn't have the support. It's no difference than putting together that swing set for your 5-year-old on the night before Christmas, and you have no instructions of how to do it. It's even hard with instructions. But if you have no instructions, the chance of you doing that quickly and efficiently is not very good. We've kind of helped with that, the coaching end of it, that blueprint part of it, kind of the back office being part of your back office with the demographics and the invitation and the 800 number. We really set things up for you and help you through that. So would love to talk to you. I mean, everyone's trying to get in front of qualified prospects, and hopefully we can help you do just that.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you all again for joining us today. Let us know how we can help you. And again, our number here is 800-255-5055. Have a great finish to your sales week, and thank you all, and thank you, Dave, as well.
Thank you, everybody. Have a real productive week. Bye-bye.